Hey guys, how are we doing today? Let me know if you can hear me. I hope you're all doing really well. Happy Sunday. I'm a little bit early, I know. Hello. I'm going to be a little bit slower today, and it's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter live because I do feel under the weather. I think everything caught up with me. Plus, strep throat is going around. As you guys know, it's not fun. Mm. But I will do my absolute best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. All right, I'm gonna wait 2 more minutes just to give people time to join because I know I'm early. Good evening, all. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's only 1:28 here, but on the East Coast it's already 4:30. Wow. Hey guys. Hello everyone. Tell us how to make a lot of money, please. Can anyone tell me how to make a lot of money, please? I wish I had a formula. Just honestly, yeah, hustle. Okay, we have 1 more minute. Oh my God, I look like a fright. I do apologize, you guys. I'm human, not a robot, unfortunately. I wish I was. That would make life so much easier. The wildfire in Canada, is it going to affect the trucking? Oh, it's okay. It's 1:30, 4:30 already. Wildfire in Canada. So I've read a little bit about it. I haven't read a ton. From what I understand, it's all going like New York is full of that smoke and everything. I have to read a little bit more about it. Hey guys. Okay, let me go back up a little bit and see if I missed any questions. Mike, hello. What's your thoughts on someone wanting to go owner operator in these times? Should they lease a truck or buy one? Lease purchase programs is something that I'm very wary of in general because a lot of companies use it to their advantage and end up bankrupting owner operators. Not all, but a lot of them. So be careful. Buying your own truck. Currently, truck prices and trailer prices are going down. There, I don't think they hit their bottom quite yet. In terms of owner operator, were you looking to get your own numbers as well, or just lease on to a carrier? Guys, just to warn you, I'm a little bit slower today. So I do apologize. I will try to do it as fast as I can, get through these questions as fast as I can, but yeah, I'm a little bit slower. Not not operating at 100% today, unfortunately. Thank you, Jeremy. Hello to everyone. Okay. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for being here, you guys. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join these lives. I hope they're educational for you guys. Ah, yikes. Okay. Where do you expect the market to shift in the next couple of months? Well, I've been looking at produce because usually the produce season is the driver of the market for the most part during these months. Now, produce season compared to last year, the shipments are less. There are less shipments. Someone commented that 90% of the peaches in Georgia were tossed out. It's true. I also looked at capacity in terms of produce, and it looks like there's either adequate, for the most part, there's adequate capacity when it comes to moving produce out of all the big markets. There are certain markets where there is a slight surplus. One of them is the Yakima market. There is a slight shortage. I believe it was trucks that were crossing from New Mexico into Nogales. But that, unless you have authority to go to Mexico, that doesn't really affect you. But in general, there are enough trucks to transport the produce right now. And the amount of produce is not as robust as it was last year, even though last year we had a drought. So the thing that's going to determine, I mean, the most likely thing that's going to determine where the market is going to go is produce season. But currently, produce season is kind of eh. I think everyone has been sick in the past week. Yeah, so there's this virus going on. I might be mispronouncing it, Edna virus or something like that. That is just a virus. There's nothing you can do to treat it other than just manage symptoms. But I was blessed with strep throat, as I found out today. So that's really fun. It's not as bad as it was the last time I had it, but still fever and all of that jazz. It's amazing. I love it. Hi, Ron. Yeah, Mountain Men. I just saw this. I was just looking at Freight Waves. Yeah, and it says the collapse will last a long time. Wow. It's crazy. Niche market is only way to make some money right now. I mean, niche market will be a really, it will be a better chance of making money right now, correct? Fires are popping up everywhere. Yep, we're waiting for California fires, but I don't know with the humidity and everything. We'll see what happens. It was bad last Tuesday. Don't encourage them. This job is awful. Kyle, you know what? My channel definitely is not about, I'm not trying to encourage anyone to do anything. I just try to educate as much as possible because something I realized, I get a lot of backlash, we'll call it, for the fact that I have courses on how to dispatch and how to open a trucking company. And the reason I have them, the reason I have this channel in general is because people are going to do what they're going to do anyway. So why not do it right, or as right as humanly possible? You know, people are going to, they're going to do what they're going to do, no matter what I say, what you say. It's just human nature. Just last week, I was looking at the carriers who entered the market as of last week. Lots of carriers. John, can you explain financing, buying on your own and leasing to a company or from a company? So when you're financing or buying on your own, you can then lease that truck onto a company. So you kind of work, it's your truck, but you work under the company's MC. When you're leasing, a lease purchase program from a company is when you are basically getting the truck from the company and you're paying it off. And a lot of the time, not always, you have to do your homework on the company, but many carriers, especially the big ones, they use that basically this lease purchase program ends up driving a lot of owner operators out of business. So be careful, be careful. Joseph, where do I get my trucking knowledge? Well, the thing is, I try to teach mostly from experience, right? That's why I focus on semi trucks and flatbeds and reefers and dry vans. Although currently we're not operating any reefers or dry vans, we are operating flatbeds, but still semi trucks is what I have experience with. That's number one. Number two, to supplement, to get a little bit more market insight, what I do is I use Sonar. That is one of my biggest resources, FreightWave Sonar. And of course, I read all the time. I read and dig. Basically, every article that interests me, like is interesting, I take apart and start researching each piece. Thanks, guys. Have I ever thought about becoming a broker? Yes, there was a moment in time. We actually got the MC, the DOT. We never got our bond or anything else. So that didn't amount to anything. There was a time. There was a time where we wanted to try to be a broker, but then it just did not work out. And I I have thought about it recently, like why not start a brokerage that is more transparent and so on and so forth. But as I keep saying, unfortunately, a lot of insurance companies will kind of shy away from insuring you if you are a broker and a carrier, right? There will be some that will still insure you, but it's harder. And plus, honestly, I'm one person. I just like I think I over extended myself already a little bit. I'm still managing, but yeah, brokerage is something that would be a completely new experience. I'd have to learn it from the beginning, basically. I have a gist, an idea of how it all works, but yeah, I don't think I have the time at the moment. Josh, fuel hauler. Oof, that unfortunately is a market that I'm not familiar with. AB, there isn't going to be produce run. Yeah, I think no, I disagree with you. I think there will be produce. It's just going to be so minor that it's not going to make any huge difference, unfortunately. Jerry, you just received your new entrant audit. If I have 30 days of clean logs, do you think? Yeah, usually audits, they ask for 30 consecutive days, right? 30 consecutive. So can't be like May 1st through 5th and then June 1st through 5th. It has to be 30 consecutive days. Anthony, I know. Yeah, I honestly, I I mean, I can't say I feel bad about giving good news because I'm not the one that's creating it, but I do feel bad on the other hand because I feel like I don't know. I can't explain it. I understand that it's not my doing. I didn't ruin the market, but yeah, I do feel bad that I have to be the bearer of bad news. I hate that, but hopefully, it's going to be good news soon. Um, I can give you good news. The rejection rate went up to 2.86. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but hey. Um, what kind of freight are we typically hauling on flatbeds? I'll tell you right now over the past couple of weeks. Um, hold on, let me find my loads because I write everything. Okay, so the last two: machinery, shingles, wire mesh. We've had some containers, construction materials, bricks, rail ties, some lumber, not a lot, crane mats, structural steel. Yeah, that's what we've been hauling recently. Hi, dissident. Aaron Prince, you're joining late, but is there any good news in the market? Yes, the tender rejection is up to 2.86. Other than that, currently there's not much that is amazing, unfortunately. I can tell you diesel is still on its way down. That's always something that is good news, but I wish I had better news for you guys. Unfortunately, produce is just it's lacking at the moment. It's lacking. The good news, well, I'll make a video and release it on Tuesday. Capacity, the net carrier population. It was a huge decline in May. Huge, huge, huge decline. Another thing, now this week, the decline was very, very small, but it's just this week, so we'll see what happens in June. But yeah, in May, there was a huge decline in net carrier population. So that's good news for you guys. Which trailer should a team run? I would say that the best trailers for teams are reefers because it's perishable goods. And the need for quicker deliveries is for reefers mostly. I don't see, there are almost no team loads for flatbeds. And for dry vans, there are some, but they're pretty rare. So I would say if you have a team, then it would be reefer. Although, something my business partners mentioned to me, and this is an interesting way of looking at it, flatbeds, for the most part, they are not based on appointment. So it's mostly first come, first serve. Whenever you get there, you get there. So if you have a team for a flatbed, you could be delivering 2-day loads in one day and doing more loads that way. Let's see. I'm looking for any info on financing my first truck, any leads. We finance, my favorite is Crossroads Financing. My least favorite is BMO. Their interest rates are ridiculously high, but they're everywhere. Daimler is okay, but Crossroads is definitely my favorite. What do I think about prices of trucks still going down? Well, they're going down because it looks like capacity is again, I'm going to make a video on Tuesday. It's going to be quite interesting because what you will see is that capacity is not just leaving carriers. A lot of drivers, I mean, the net driver population is also leaving, and we're going to look at that. Now, the reason the truck prices are going down is because people are getting rid of their equipment and the demand is just not there relative to the inventory. Thank you, Sean. Thanks, Transport King. Yes, if I miss your question, please do send me an email. I will respond. I know I'm a little bit behind, but I will respond. Mohammed, are you asking me about the authority? So unfortunately, because I made the carrier course, I no longer provide authority services. But if you send me an email, I have several people to recommend who can help you out, depending on your equipment type. How much can I charge a carrier that I do dispatching and billing services? I have seen dispatchers in the current market charge anywhere between 2.5 to 7%. So it depends what kind of service you're offering. If it's just dispatch and billing services, maybe you can add some things that are, important for carriers like back office, maybe reminders for due dates, filing due dates, renewals, and so on. It's called capitalism. The market will decide how many truckers are 100%. Yeah, this is the free market. And unfortunately or fortunately, right? Depends on how you look at it. Um, it's going to do what it's going to do. Supply and demand. Thank you, Fabrizio. Blackjack. Me and my business partner are a few weeks out from carrying our first load as an owner operator. We plan on delivering to Florida, Georgia, and North. What kind of equipment do you have, Blackjack? Because it's going to depend, right? Like flatbed in Georgia and South Carolina, especially, it's not. I mean, it's not great, but it's not horrible. Florida, not a fan of Florida in terms of loads. Where can I find container loads? Well, I know I said we've hauled some containers, but this was through brokers. A lot of container loads come out of Southern California. I do apologize. I have such a damn headache. It's crazy. I'm good, Trey. Hello. Was I a medical doctor before this? No, I wish. No, I used to be a recruiter. I used to be a recruiter for fashion brands. Michael, so yeah, I have a dispatching course. The dispatching course is, I mean, it's for anyone who wants to either learn to self-dispatch or dispatch a family member or just learn dispatching in general. So I do have a course for that. Yep. Thank you, Mountain Men. I will. I'm going to be fine. It's a walk in the park. It's fine. When is your interview with Alex coming on? It's not. I reached out to him, but I haven't heard back. So, yeah, unfortunately, nothing happening there. Do you have any advice on staying organized with compliance as a motor carrier? Yes, I do. So, number one, I have a playlist on YouTube, an Airtable playlist. So, this is a TMS system that I created using Airtable that works for me. Now, you can change it to whatever works for you. So, that's number one. That's to keep everything organized. Number two, get an online filing system. I prefer Dropbox. I absolutely love it. I can find any document anywhere at any time as long as I have a good internet connection. And another thing I use is To-Do or any reminder system, right? I have To-Do is an Apple program and it reminds me when a filing is due, whatever I need. Yeah. Organization is super important. I know there's a ton of paperwork as a carrier. Um, Elon, do you know why TQL wouldn't want to work with me? You know what? I've been hearing more and more people say that TQL is refusing to work with them, and they give the weirdest reasons. I think they're just, I think because of the oversaturation of carriers, brokers can give any reason of why they're not going to work with you. I'll give you an example, you guys. This will be funny. There's a broker that we have worked with over and over and over and over again. Ryan Transportation Services, not Ryan with two A's, Ryan Transportation Services. Now, these are the guys we get our fuel card and factoring from as well, but they also have a broker division. Now, the factoring and fuel card, I'm very happy about, but the brokerage division, we have been working with them for 4 years. Now, about a month ago, I reached out to them about a load, and the guy on the phone tells me that, mind you, we hauled a load for them like a week before also. So I called this guy on the load, and he is like, "Oh no, we can't work with you." So while I'm trying to ask him, I'm like, "Hold on, what do you mean you can't?" He hangs up on me. So obviously, me being the hot-tempered person that I am, I call back, and it was a lady, a very, very nice lady, who unfortunately was the scapegoat, sadly. But I started yelling bloody mur I was like, "What the hell is this? Why am I being told you don't work with us when we have done so many loads with you guys? What is going on?" She's like, "Oh no, we do. Everything is fine with your MC. Everything's fine." So they're using any excuse. The same thing happened to our baby company with Magellan. Is it Magellan Transport? Yeah, Magellan Logistics. So we called on a load, and because we were slow in answering questions, they're like, "Oh no, we can't use you because of your MC." What's wrong with our MC? Okay, whatever. We called back 5 minutes later on the same load. We got that load. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know what it is. Brokers have so many people to choose from that they don't feel that if they don't like your voice or whatnot, they're going to tell you we can't work with you. Lucky Logistics, dispatcher dispatching two dry vans and one power only. Uh, you give him two short runs every day to make 700, $800 every day. So I mean, it depends on your client's expenses. For me personally, 700, $800 would be a little bit low, especially in California where the fuel prices are so high. We try to strive for $1,000 a day. This is just the goal. But California, the fuel prices are so high. I remember at times when you could get a short load for $2,000. That was a good time in California. But it depends on your client's cost per mile, right? It's all relative. Thanks, Anthony. Mm. Susan Wallace, what do I mean by rejection rate? Sure, yes, I get this question a lot. So, a tender rejection occurs when a contract carrier decides to reject contract freight, right? Contract freight is very often, or those contracts are often called paper rates because carriers can reject them at any time. Now, when a contract carrier says, "No, I'm not going to move this contract load," what ends up happening is it goes through the process of going to other carriers, other contract carriers, and finally gets pushed to the spot market. So usually there is a correlation. The higher the tender rejection rate, the more of the volume gets pushed to the spot market. And of course, as volume grows on the spot market, that ratio between capacity and loads, it starts changing in the carrier's favor, and therefore spot rates start going up. I hope that makes sense. Do you believe that will cause a slight crash for flatbeds, Conestoga? I mean, if capacity continues entering the flatbed market, yeah, it's going to cause a crash, of course, unless the volumes keep up. But currently, the housing market, the permits are not there. I need to check. I haven't checked in about 2 weeks, but permits, which usually tell us how many construction projects will be happening in the near future, those are down. Now, uh, there's also hold on, what was it called? The commercial construction, as far as I know, is what is keeping flatbeds afloat at the moment, not the non-commercial. But yeah, Flatbed is very, very closely. I know that flatbed transports a bunch of different things, but it's very, very closely tied to the housing market and to construction in general, because flatbeds are the ones that transport everything. Now, currently, the weather is decent, but of course, also as the weather gets worse, less people are actually building, right? Construction projects slow down or stop, less stuff gets moved. And if there is too much capacity, yeah, it could absolutely hurt the flatbed market. Hmm. How much experience do you need to start your own LLC? I mean, I had no experience. I had no experience at all. Not just with an LLC, I had no experience in trucking. I had no idea what this industry was about when we started our original company. But you live, you learn. Day cab flatbed Northeast. Is that a crazy idea? I'm not a fan of the Northeast. There is not much for flatbeds there. So I would say maybe, at least in my opinion. Thank you, Liston. Do you have a video on how to file the Form 2290? I don't believe I have it on YouTube. I have it in my carrier course, though. I do not believe I have it on YouTube. Let's see. Brian Bird, how would you value an MC number that is 4 years old but inactive? Oof, I'm not sure. Anyone know? Mm, you live in Spokane. Wait, I'm answering your question here. Spokane. You own a couple of trucks. Are you running interstate? Are you only hiring from Washington, or are you hiring from anywhere? Why do you feel like it's hard to retain drivers? Do you have a hard time getting them home on time? Do I recommend buying equipment during this market conditions? I mean, I'm torn, right? If you watch my performance videos, you will see that there is a way to make money. But in order to make money, you have to run like crazy. I mean, like crazy, crazy. The numbers you see are my business partners. They have skin in the game, obviously. I don't know of many people who run like them. So you have to work more to earn less, but there is a way to make money. In terms of equipment prices, it looks like they're still falling. So that's a big question mark, right? And they're still higher than they should be. Do you still offer the 600 to get truck? No, I stopped offering the authority services since I created the carrier course. But if you want someone to help you with the paperwork and you don't want to do the carrier course, send me an email. I have people I can recommend to you. Oh, there we go. If your MC is inactive, it's almost like starting over with the brokers. Yeah. Blackjack 26-foot box truck. Hold on, what was your question? I remember. Oh, there we go. Oh, 26-foot box truck in those areas. So Blackjack, unfortunately, I'm not very familiar with the market for 26-foot box trucks. I never really paid attention to it or learned it. Now, if anyone knows, if anyone has experience with box trucks, especially in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, I believe you said, uh, help a guy out. Do you plan on getting a step deck? Yeah, potentially. So yes, we are currently looking to get another flatbed trailer because it looks like we're adding a team member, which is amazing. So we need one more flatbed because I refuse to rent the dry van. So maybe it will be a step deck. Askar, good day. Where do you think I should send my 53-foot dry van this week? So I made a video on Friday, which made a prediction, but let me see if I can find the um, dry van. So it looks like it was Houston, Fort Worth, Southern California looks interesting. Be careful, check the market first because of the fuel prices. Midwest. These are the places for a dry van that are relatively better than everywhere else next week. What was the percentage difference between pre-pandemic and now with rejection rates? Well, before the pandemic, let's see. Hold on while my sonar loads. There we go. Damn it, come on. There you go. So pre-pandemic, let's do display relative. Like if we're comparing July of 2019, the tender rejections fell by 39%. Volumes increased by 11%. So this is what's happening. 39% less is the tender rejections. Now, if we compare it to June of 2021, it fell by 89%. Oh my gosh, it was a good time, 2021. Let's see. So if I answered your question already, I am a little bit behind in the chat. That's the first thing I want to let everyone know. Second, if I do not answer your question, it's because I already answered it or because I accidentally didn't see it. In that case, send me an email. I'm half Ukrainian, half Georgian. Can you get into dispatching as a self-employed person? Yeah, you could. You could. If you're comfortable with cold calling, right? Dispatching is one of those businesses where you don't have a ton of investments. A lot of the equipment you will need, you already have. What you do need is the ability to cold call, right? And if you manage to create a list of clients and you have a good service that you offer, you don't need to work for someone. Now, working for someone first, it just gives you the experience so that you can take what one company is doing and make it better for your own company. Have you ever looked into becoming a mover? I have not at this time. Oscar, I already answered your question. CDGL Logistics, really? It's crazy, right? The brokers are now using any excuse, and sometimes they lie through their teeth. And honestly, I was so disappointed because RTS, again, this is a fuel card that I absolutely adore, that I do recommend. I like their factoring. It just sucks that the broker side is so kind of oblivious to everything. You know, it's like, okay, I understand completely different departments, but they're still part of one company. And it's crazy that I have so much respect for one department or two departments, and I lost all my respect for the brokerage department. It's terrible. Do I have any advice on, I think you asked insurance. What kind of advice are you looking for? Wheel burner, do you operate your trucks on a dollar per mile model or revenue per day model? Um, More of the cost versus revenue per mile, but I do try to, again, I'm one person, but what I do try to do is look at both. It's important to keep both in mind. Is it a good time to leave Cali? Every day is a good time to leave Cali. I cannot wait to leave Cali. Oops, where did it go? Um, where was I? I saw something about spot. Someone asked, I'm sorry, I lost the question about the spot market. What is it? Spot market is a free market that changes with the environment around, right? If capacity increases, the spot market right away reacts to that, the rates start going down. A lot of, not every load, but a lot of the loads on the spot market, they come from tender rejections. So if a contract carrier refuses to haul a load, it goes to the spot market. A lot of loads go like this. That's pretty much it. But the reality is the spot market, it's 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 made up out of the worst loads possible. So it sounds horrible, and I don't mean it in a horrible way. Because I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way, because we work off the spot market only. We don't do contract. But the spot market is like for bottom feeders. That's how bad the loads are. That's why a lot of people are screaming, do contract, because the spot market has a ton of horrible, horrible loads, the stuff that no one else wants to take. Yeah. So we're lobsters. I'm talking about my two companies here. We're lobsters. Mhm. Do you have any idea on how long does it take to get plates in Washington? IRP plates? I don't know. I know that in California it can take 2 months, but in California you can also use road ready registration to get it faster. I wonder if road ready registration will work in Washington. National services. Hold on. If it loads, wake up. So I would try, who was I answering? Service unavailable. That Italian trucker. Go to Road Ready Registration. It's roadreadyreg.com and click on their national services. Unfortunately, the website is not working at the moment. And see if they offer IRP service in Washington, because through them, it's very quick. Hope that helps. Oops. Thank you, the milkman. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support very much. Um, let's see, where was I? Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-bum. How would you ask the brokers in order not to be rejected by a broker? Uh, what do you mean? You mean like in order for them to be more willing to work with you? To be quite honest, there is no magic formula, right? I feel like because of how obsessed I was in the beginning of starting our original company with our reputation, we built a stellar reputation within several brokerages as well as in general, right? On the DAT load board, for example, the reviews, 5-star reviews all across the board. And even then, brokers that we have built relationships with, or so I thought, will tell me they can't work with me. Why? They don't know why. And then it turns out not to be the truth. So unfortunately, there's no magic formula. It's just about calling and finding that broker that is going to be semi-decent, hopefully. Do, 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 do. Eldar, hello. Why do all drive-in drivers want to go to California from New Jersey or South Carolina for a little? I think it's because California is, the volume is getting stronger in California for drive-ins, and the tender rejections are not as bad as they used to be. Southern California. Let me see. I think they're just trying to find the best opportunities. Let me see what is going on in California, although today's Sunday, so not everything will be posted. Van, and let's put in Bakersfield for tomorrow. 475 matches. I mean, yeah, you can make close to $3 per mile running from California to the West Coast for sure. I mean, there's like chop tank transportation for a van, Los Angeles to Hillsboro, Oregon for $3,000, 969 miles. Now, getting out of California is pretty difficult. One thing that these carriers have to remember is once they get into California, because of the fact that there is no decent rate to get out, they have to remember fuel prices here and how their cost per mile will change. Whoop. Thank you, Natasha. Yeah, all the courses are pre-recorded. The dispatching course has 9 hours worth of video. The carrier course, send me an email and I'll let you know. I need to check it again. And could you speak about carrier versus dispatch? Well, a dispatch traditionally is someone who helps the carrier, right? Especially a one-man show. They represent the carrier. They're on the carrier side. Now, in our case, I dispatch my own fleet. So I'm a carrier and a dispatcher. So it depends, but a lot of dispatchers traditionally, they don't really have an MC number or a DOT number. They just find loads for their clients who have an MC or DOT number. I hope that makes sense and that helps. Where was I? I'm sorry, I lost my place. How do you verify employment or driving history of potential new hires drivers? I use HireSafe. HireSafe does all of that. But there are different things you can pay for. You can choose not to pay for an employment check. And in that case, you are required by the FMCSA to call the previous employers and just verify everything. But I use HireSafe. Was it hard for my guys to adjust to flatbeds? Yeah, they love it now. They love it now. I mean, relatively, relative to reefer, because it's not. I mean, it's so quick. Everything. It's all about. It's a lot of driver work for sure, but they relative to other equipment, they love it. Can you speak your native language for us? Some of you, it's funny. English is my first language. Now I know Russian, broken Russian, and I know very broken French, but English is my first language. For those of you who don't know, um, from the moment I was born, my dad spoke only English to me, only English, and I went to an American school. So English is my first language. But in terms of Russian, let me know what you want me to say. Do I post best flatbed lanes? So every Friday I show the flatbed. It's not really even market areas. It's I don't look at it from a lane perspective. I show the states and then a market map where you can see where there are more outbound loads versus inbound trucks, creating more of an opportunity to negotiate. Transport King, you're funny. Mm. Sorry, guys. um, is it possible to make more as an owner operator? If you have your numbers, again, I release the performance video every single month of our performance. And yes, you can make money, but it's not as efficient at it as it used to be. It takes 10 times more work to make 3 times less than before. But yes, you can make money. Is it an amazing life? No, because like my business partners, I keep saying this, they will go out for months at a time, but they have skin in the game. This is their 2 companies. These are their 2 companies as well. So it's very different, and not everyone is ready, and they shouldn't be ready to do that. So yeah, you can make money if you're willing to. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of work, not a fun life. In what region should you be if you have a reefer? California, Southern California seems to be coming alive for reefers. That's what I saw. What else did I see? I released a video last Friday already about where to go, but let me double check for you. Reefer. So yeah, California, actually southern is the best, and Central California. Idaho is interesting. The Pendleton, Oregon market, Fort Worth, Texas. Houston has a ton of rejections, but not enough volume. And maybe some Midwestern states like Iowa, maybe Omaha, Nebraska, maybe Missouri and Indiana. That's for a reefer. Whoops. Um, where was I? Do I recommend team driving for flatbed? Great question. I did answer it already, but I want to I didn't really answer that question, but I touched on the topic. Flatbed, there are not a ton of team loads for flatbeds. However, my business partners pointed out a very, very interesting thing. Because flatbeds, for the most part, do not require appointments for delivery, it's all first come, first serve, Monday through Friday. Not everything, but 90% or 95% of the loads. If you have a team on a flatbed, you can deliver those 2-day loads in one day, therefore grabbing more loads, more opportunities, more money. So while there are no or not a lot of team flatbed or flatbed team specific loads, you can use that to your advantage potentially. That Italian trucker, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, one of my business partners said low pro. Yeah, I have to look at it. You know, one thing that I'm a complete like idiot really is equipment. Like that is not my forte. That's my one of my business partners' forte. He's the one who makes decisions on equipment because I don't understand it. Like I don't get it. Um, Oscar, so I answered your question. I no longer open authorities. Because I created a carrier course, I stopped offering the authority service. However, if you emailed me, I'll take a look. I'll recommend someone. If you're looking for someone to actually do the paperwork for you, I can recommend someone. Let me actually check. Oscar. Let's see. Mm-mm-mm. I think this is you. Yep, you emailed me yesterday, it looks like. I'll send you my the people I recommend, Oscar, for sure. You know what? I'll do it right now. Because I already have a template of people I recommend. Here. Here you go. I think I just replied to you. Are rates trending up overall? Thoughts? So overall, and I'm so slow today. Let me double check. Reefer rates are currently going down over the past 2 weeks. Now, if they follow the 5-year pattern, they will start going up, but that also depends on produce season, and the upward trend should start happening in 2 weeks if we look at the 5-year pattern. Dry van loads are actually, they went up over the past 2 weeks and then stayed level, right? And again, if we're looking at the 5-year pattern, which they have been following just below the 5-year pattern, then in about, we're on week 23, yep, in about 2 weeks, they should start going up and remaining more or less elevated. This is according to the previous patterns. We shall see if that happens. Flatbeds. Flatbed rates. Flatbed rates are above the 5-year pattern, and they should actually peak in the next couple of weeks and then start going down. But that's because of weather. And again, I'm basing this off of the patterns over 5 years. Jason, unfortunately, I do not have any recommendations, especially for a $2 million policy. I can send you some of the contacts I have if you want to send me an email. Whoops. Oh, thank you, Dmitry. Бездомного ура. Uh, okay, skip. Let's see. Where was I? Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. So I'm gonna hang out here for about 3 more minutes. I know it's a shorter live, but again, I don't feel the best today. Luis, let's go in Russian. Поехали. That's a yeah, that's let's go in Russian. It sounds better in English in my opinion. Готовы? Поехали. Frisco Jack, you know what? A lot of people are saying that there are a lot of owner operators who are switching to Uber, and they're saying they're getting paid more than in this market. Yeah. Whoop, where did it go? Thank you, LPH. I appreciate it. Mm, So, do I recommend to have two authorities for two different equipments? No, do it all under one authority. If you're looking at why we have two trucking companies, it's a completely different situation. Partially it was because one company was supposed to be a reefer company, the other one a drive-in, but that's not the biggest reason. The biggest reason was my business partner who has years and years of experience, but in Europe, or had in Europe. It was not transferable to the United States. So here he was considered new, and there was no way of adding him to our existing original company. So we created a separate company where it would be for him. And now, now he is actually insured under the original company. But the baby company, he's insured under both. But the baby company we're keeping open just in case, because I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving the baby company to Florida. Okay. Ooh, ooh. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm going to thank you, Transport King, for helping out. There's this one gentleman who just now. Just now. Yeah. Yeah, Toy Box. I just what is it called? Transport King has been doing it, and I am trying to block this person from ever being able to comment again. Thank you, Transport King. I appreciate that. That is not welcome here at all. Horrible. Yes, exactly, guys. I'm sorry for that. Who is this? Okay. Anyway, I think this is, I'm going to hide this person. They're making a bunch of nicknames. Anyway, I think, paired with my migraine and everything else that's going on, and with this person who will not stop creating different, disgusting things, I think it's time to call it a day. And I appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me and hanging out with me. And I know that I won't be live next week because of Father's Day. And I'm sure you guys have things much better to do than hang out on the live. But the following week, yes. I appreciate you guys. And those of you who asked questions and I did not answer them, please feel free to email me. Some of the questions I did answer, and this just before, there were some repeat questions. So this video will be recorded and posted. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you all. Okay, time to get out of this chat. It's getting crazy. Thank you so much. I will see you guys soon. Bye.